Well, I've got a very unique looking e-bike right here. It's called the HONBIKE, and it's a foldable e-bike with 20-inch rims, 160mm mechanical disc brakes. But that's really about where the similarities to other e-bikes I've covered in, because when you look at the design, it has actually won a few awards for it. You'll see why, because the front fork, it's single-sided, the rear fork too, single-sided, and it has a drive shaft in there. So that drive shaft means no gears, no chains to have to worry about lubricating. Maintenance on this is supposed to be maintenance-free up to 45,000 kilometers, so claim HONBIKE. So the motor is located in the front here, which is unusual. Normally it's in the rear hub or the mid-mounted motor. It's 250 watts, maximum speed is 25 kilometers per hour, and we do have 5 pedal assist levels. So it can take you up to, they claim, around 40 kilometers, the range of it, but I'll be putting that to the test. I'll also show you the design of this bike, why it's so unique, the build quality, my road tests, how it climbs, and my overall opinions of this bike now using it for a couple of weeks. The front crank here doesn't use a speed sensor. It has a torque sensor, and that's really good. It even incorporates a gyro too, so it knows when you exceed or get close to 30 degrees, it'll cut out the motor. And because it's a torque sensor it uses, that means the power delivery is very smooth with that front motor in my time testing it so far. The pedals, like the whole bike, is foldable, so you simply just press them in and then you can fold them up for easier stowing, and it just means they take up a little less room. They've got reflectors in them and they're made out of a quality ABS style plastic. The tyres HONBIKE went with are a known brand. They're Kenda, and the size of them is 20 inches by 2.125 inches, and they are road tyres. And the tyres in the sidewall do have this reflector strip all the way around, which is a nice touch for added safety. We have a strong kickstand, and this one doesn't rattle, which is great. I simply hate rattling stands on bikes, and so far nothing's rattling on this. Including our mudguards, which are made out of plastic, both the front and rear mudguard. The disc brakes, these ones are mechanical and 160mm front and rear. And our battery pack's located here, so 6 amp hours or 214 watt hours. You can just simply pull this down like so, and you can see that it's a little battery right here. Now it just clips back in place. You slot it in like so. You hear a click when it goes in, and it's lockable. So there's this key here that locks it in place, and then this bracket here goes up. Right here we've got the hinge and the latch here. So there's a little security right here. You push that in and then push again, and that undoes the latch, and you can fold it right in half. Handlebars similar, there's just a little button at the top, so you've got to push that down, and then you can pull down the lever, which is a little tight, but it's quite secure. And then that handlebar will drop down too. The seat here is of an unusual design because it doesn't have the part that normally sticks out here at the front. Normally you have like a triangular shaped seat, but it does away with that completely. It takes a little while to get used to, but the design of it is quite nice, and there's plenty of sponge here at the top, so it is a comfortable seat. Now we do have it numbered here, the height on it. For different riders, it'll be very easy to swap between because you know which number is yours. And it's just this here, simply loosen this off and you can drop that seat down or up, and it does cater for various different rider heights. And this is what it looks like, and it's completely folded down state. So that's the pedals in, the seat down, handlebars folded down and folded in half. The front of the handlebar has a reflective strip. We've got a reflector right here too, and then a powerful LED headlight. And there is another bright LED tail light in the rear. Then we've got these unique style brakes here that are sticking out the front, and not your typical style. Now they are not adjustable here, but they are down at the caliper. So we have the front brake, lock grips made out of very good rubber here. They're not going anywhere. There's a bell, reasonably loud. And then on this side, on the right here, we've got our rear brake, and we have the power on, pedal assist mode up, down, and if you hold the pedal assist up, that turns on the lights. Then our display, so this is nice and clear even in direct sunlight. We've got our speed, the assist level, so that is 1 through to 5, which they call the sport mode, trip meter, odometer, and here is our battery life gauge at the top. So each one of those bars represents approximately 25% battery. So I've got a perfect day here now, finally. It's taken quite a few outings to get some really good weather to just show you what it's like to ride this HONBIKE here. So with that front 250 watt motor, drive shaft, and its torque sensor and gyro. So it is very comfortable, this seat, even though it's a little bit different. This normally triangular design we have with the seats is not here with this one. That means it's a little bit easier to mount, but it's got plenty of padding in it. Now you can probably hopefully see my knees here. They're not too close to the handlebars and I've got plenty of room. In fact, the riding position on this is quite upright and it's very comfortable. So pedal assist level 1, as soon as you start to give it a bit, that torque sensor straight away delivers the power, and it is smooth and you hardly even hear that front hub motor. So most of the e-bikes that I do review, they normally have a rear hub motor or sometimes mid-mount ones. So this is a different way of doing it and it seems to work quite well, especially with that torque sensor. Now what's the top speed like? Because of its gearing, the ratio they've gone with, I'm only really getting up to about 30 kilometers per hour and that's pedaling my guts out. So now you can see I'm really pedaling quite fast and I'm just able to do 30. And it really is quite difficult to go over 30 with the way it is geared. And of course we don't have any gears, just that fixed ratio drive shaft. I'm now at my climb test point here. So how is the HONBIKE going to fare with a 25-30 degree climb like this? It's relatively steep. Now this bike does have that torque sensor, the gyroscope built within it. Now that gyroscope is able to detect we've got a climb, so it should give me that assistance right from the get-go. So let's test it out. Okay, so I'll test it out with level 3 pedal assist. So it should, with that sensor, give me that pedal power and the torque sensor straight away. And I'm feeling a little bit come in, but this is slightly difficult here, having to put a bit of muscle power into it. So level 5 now, that's the maximum. And this steep climb is getting a little easier. I certainly wouldn't want to do this without the motor because of course there's no gears, no low gear. You're basically stuck in a high gear. So I can get up this okay. So it's going to keep you fit, this bike. And my braking test. So when I get to the post there, approximately 30 kilometers per hour, full on braking. And it made it before this other post. So that's pretty good. That's approximately about 20 meters there, I think. Just an estimate. So do find for mechanical disc brakes, 160 millimeter ones, they're actually pretty good. No real complaints with them. Decent enough brakes, especially once you bed them in. You can stop when you want to stop. That's the main thing. And they don't squeak away or rattle or make any noise, which is another positive there. And here I am at the end of the test route that I take with these e-bikes. It has been a very good ride, pleasant, smooth, no rattling. So the front wheel, even though it's got a motor at the front, it's only 2.1 kilos the weight of that motor. So it's not adding a lot of weight to it. And the best part is just no rattling whatsoever. Nothing, which is great. All right, and what about the range of it? So they claim 40 kilometers. But I'm only getting around 28 to 30 kilometers with this, but I weigh 81 kilos and the climbs that I've been doing have been relatively steep. So it's only a 6 amp hour battery. I think it's faring all right. Now, when you go over 25 kilometers per hour, the motor cuts out. You get no assistance then. The torque sensor is not going to do anything and it will not then pull you along. So that does save a little bit of battery. So it's all going to depend on, of course, where you're riding. If you've got a lot of just hills around, then it might not really be the bike for that. But if it's a city kind of commute you're doing, which is mostly flat, it will be great for that. So it's a very smooth ride. I like the torque sensor on it. Delivers that power straight away. The front motor doesn't make a lot of noise at all. Now with the steep climbs that I did with it, I did notice that it's not quite as powerful as some of the other e-bikes that I have reviewed. It's 250 watts and the torque on it's fine, but you still will have to pedal a little bit. Now because there's no gears, the gearing on it, if you want to try and go and ride over 25 kilometers per hour, when you're doing about 30, you really are pedaling quite fast like this. So you do get a bit of a workout with this bike, but on the flat, it's very easy going and a cruisy ride, super comfortable. The seat, more comfortable than it looks because it doesn't have the typical traditional seat design on it, which would be triangular. No, it's cut off, it's more of a D shape to it, but nice and comfortable. The quality of this bike is excellent, so nothing rattles on it. I can do it now, nothing rattles, not even the stand, not even the plastic mud guards. It's good. The brakes, 160mm ones, better than I thought they would be. They actually brake really well, and I've got no complaints there at all with it. The other thing to do with the display here, that it gives you a lot of information, it's clear, it's good. The lights on them are good, and good to see there's an actual rear light, which a lot of manufacturers just opt to not even put in there. It's all up, it's a good bike. It really, for me, is just two things that it has, the cons. And that is the fact that it is expensive, but you're paying for the build quality and this unique design, the foldable design. And the other is the range. I do wish it was just a little better. Now, they do apparently sell a portable battery pack that you can connect up to it to double your range. So do look into that if you're thinking about getting this bike here. So thank you so much for watching my review of the HONBIKE, and I hope to see you in my next e-bike review. Bye for now.